And here we go. All right. Welcome, everyone, to NJ Bass Academy, Into the Mind of Music Monday Night Live. Welcome, welcome. If you're a subscriber, I appreciate you very, very much. Thank you so much for subscribing. And don't forget, if you're not watching this video during the live stream, please leave some comments so that I know that you watched it. And if you're here in the chat, just say hi and let me know that you're watching, that you're tuned in. Okay. So, first things first, what is new over at NJ Bass Academy? Wow. Got a lot of things going on, so hold on to your seats. All right. So, what have I been working on? Well, I've been lately scouring the internet and looking at different things, and there seems to be a big buzz about Barry Harris. And if you don't know who Barry Harris was, he was a very great jazz educator in all of the colleges and just a master musician. So there's been talk about this scale, the diminished dominant or the dominant diminished scale, one of the two, the diminished dominant scale. So that's what I've been working on, the diminished dominant scale. And I'm starting to get the hang of it and starting to see what it's like and the chords that go with it. So stick around for my performance at the end of this video. At the very, very end, I'll show you basically what the diminished dominant scale is and play a little something from that. All right, so that's what's going on with me. And what's going on? Oh, yes, every Wednesday or every Wednesday that I can possibly do this for a while till I run out of ideas or things to do. I'll have free bass lessons. So every Wednesday at 7:30, tune in for a free bass lesson. They won't be live though; they'll be taped. So the one that I have out right now is called "How to." What did I say? Let me read my notes here. Oh, it's how to play bass with a pick. So if you're interested in learning how to play bass with a pick, I go through all different ways to hold the pick, all different kind of styles of pick and styles of picking and how to do it. So be sure to check out that video if you don't play with a pick or if you're just learning. And for this Wednesday, I have the major scale. So if you're a beginner or if you do not know what the major scale is or how to play the major scale, that's out there, and that's going to be the following Wednesday. And I figured out how to include the written music and the tablature on the bottom of my screen, so you could always refer back to it for the tab or the manuscript. And the last one, oh yes, and the third one is going to be how to read tab and the bass clef. So in that, I go over how to read tablature for the beginning student and the lines and the spaces and what the notes are. So anyway, that's a bunch of information, but stick around. Basically every Wednesday, I'll have a free lesson. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to check the chat. If you're here, say hello, and let me see what's going on over here. All right, so no one is viewing right now at this second, or no one is in the chat. So I will check back later. Okay, let's go. Let's go over to the news first, and we'll talk about that a little bit. So, in the news, Rolling Stone magazine, of course, and you know me, I just can't resist anything Beatles. So, if you like music news about the Beatles, anytime I see anything about one of the Beatles or what they're doing, I will have that on because I am a big fan. And if there are any other artists that you'd like me to actually cover, um, you just let me know and I'll try to find out what the latest scoop is about them. So, anyway, Ringo Starr reveals his favorite Beatles song and thoughts on Afterlife on Colbert. So, I just think it worked perfectly with the band and the song and John being John. I loved that moment, drummer says of his favorite Beatle track. Of course, I can't play the interview, I can't play anything for copyright strike reasons. It says here Ringo Starr revealed his favorite Beatles song and his thoughts on the afterlife during a bonus interview from the drummer's recent virtual visit to The Late Show. So he took part in Stephen Colbert's 15 Questions, the Colbert Questioner, a segment Starr initially recorded when he appeared on The Late Show in March. So he was asked, you get one song to listen to for the rest of your life. What is it? And Starr quickly replied, Come Together, a Beatles song. So he says there's lots of other favorites, but if you want one, Come Together can't be bad, Starr said, noting it was his favorite Beatles song. I just think it worked perfectly with the band and the song and John being John. I loved that moment. Starr also shared his unique take on the afterlife when Colbert asked him, What happens when we die? Well, this should be good. I think we go to heaven, Starr said. Heaven's great, but you don't stay there long. You don't stay there long, huh? Okay. You just gotta get yourself together again. So he's saying heaven is like a rehab, I guess. And come deal with all that SHI, I can't curse either. You didn't deal with the last time you were here. So, wow. I don't know if I like that too much, but hey, Ringo, whatever. Whatever you think. You go to heaven for the rehab and then, then you go back to earth and as someone else and deal with some other stuff. All right. So Starr also revealed his picks for favorite sandwich, cheese sandwich, scariest animal. He said, I think a lion would be scary. His least favorite smells, I love this. His least favorite smells, bodily function. He said, something the Beatles knew all about. Oh my God, that cracks me up. And the most used app on his phone is Twitter. And they didn't get to the question what is his favorite action movie, but I thought that was pretty funny. Bodily functions. All right, so there's Ringo Starr. He looks great, man. Bless his heart. Bless his heart. All right, so I'm gonna get in and out of the Rolling Stone before I have any troubles. Oh boy, that was making me mad the other night. Oh my goodness. Jeebus. All right, so let's see if I can turn that off. Okay, I did. All right. So that's a little bit about the news. So I hope it doesn't lock up. All right. Now, I'm going to check out the chat and see who's here. Hello, hello, hello. If anybody's here, please say hi. YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. As such, viewers will experience buffering. Okay. You guys experiencing any buffering? It looks like it's pretty good now. I don't know. Yeah, it's always something. But on with the show. Anyway. All right, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Um, if you like this video, it helps me out a real lot. I'm trying to get to that magic number of 1,000 subscribers, and I have about 79. So when I get to my first 100, I'm going to celebrate. So if you like and share this video, when I get to 100, I will do a special edition show. Of course, I have no idea what I'm going to do because I just came up with that out of the clear blue sky. And I do have my phone hooked up, guys, so if anybody wants to call in, I got the phone straightened out. And since I got out of Rolling Stone, it seems everything's going great with the stream, which is fine. And I think I see someone, in the chat, I thought. But, whoops, what did I do? Okay, there you go. All right, so I also decided since I can't play anybody's music or do any of that stuff, I was getting very, very, very discouraged. And I wasn't going to do this every Monday night. It was just such a hassle, blah, 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 blah. But you know what? I love doing this show. And if I can't play anything from the internet of other people's music, that's okay. I just won't do it. I just won't play anything. And this new segment is going to be called Feature Artist. So this is where I'm going to feature anyone that wants to be featured. If you're a solo artist, if you're a band, if you're anyone that would like to be promoted on the show Into the Mind of Music, we could work that out, and you can call in. And if you'd like to be on Into the Mind of Music podcast and actually sit down and do an hour podcast with me, I'd be glad to have anybody that wants to promote themselves. So don't be afraid to leave in the comments and your information. Okay, so today's featured artist, or I should say this week, happens to be Dylan Thompson. And Dylan is a wonderful producer of acid techno music. Now, I know very little about acid techno music, but I'm going to give this a shot. Dylan's got some great stuff. I really like his stuff, and it's super dancey and super partying. And if you have a party and you want to put some of Dylan's music on in the background and put on some freaky lights, man, and have a great time, I think this is acid techno is definitely the kind of music that you want to listen to. So anyway, Dylan's new EP, and I hope I say this right, Lysergic Transmissions. Lysergic Transmissions. And you'll find out, I guess, how it all ties in. And I thought this was really cool because it's a concept. It's not just the music, it's the concept, it's the names of the song and the descriptions and a lot more. There's a lot more to it, which which I think is cool. Like in the old days, like when Yes did their Yes songs, and they strung all kinds of music together and made it a whole album side, like Genesis. So there's definitely a lot of thought to this stuff. And I'll just read you some of the names of the song. Of course, there's the title track, Lysergic Transmissions. The next song is Magic Fungi, Red Sky, Days of Everything, and Machines of Tomorrow. How the heck did he come up with all these names? Okay, so from speaking to Dylan, basically, it refers to acid and LSD, acid techno, magic fungi. I mean, if you do mushrooms, I guess you know what that's all about. Red sky, which I really don't really know. But I guess if you were tripping, you'd definitely see some cool stuff. And by the way, yes, I am an advocate for microdosing for medical reasons. So, yeah. So if you want to blast me in the comments for that, go ahead. Just leave a comment, good or bad. It helps. All right, so let's get on with this. Days of Everything. And the last one is Machines of Tomorrow, which definitely gives you a futuristic feel. And like I said, the genre is acid techno, so it's dance. It's got a good beat. It's got the pump and bass drum. It's got a certain time beats per minute that are part of the music. It should be a certain beats per minute, I think. And if Dylan's watching, maybe he can call in and correct me if I'm wrong. But some people just don't. Some people don't like to call in. They don't like to be on the air, and that's fine. But if you are watching, just say hi so that I know that you're here in the comments. I would appreciate that. And even after the stream, leave a comment. And I'm a small channel right now, so I will get back to you. I do read every comment, and I get back to everyone and anyone that comments. And if you would like the number to call into the show, all you have to do is request it in the comments. Okay? And I'll give you that number because, yeah, I just don't want a million people all trying to call in at once. All right, so let's get on with this. So acid techno. So what I know about acid techno from Dylan is that it started in Chicago. And okay, I'm bouncing back here. Charles, hey, okay, Charles. Charles is my faithful man. I love this guy. He could be doing a million other things, but he still tunes into my show, and I just can't. He's just great, just a great bass player too. We're gonna be doing some things pretty soon, together when we both have a chance. So definitely stick around from that. Yeah, see, he's bouncing back and forth between working out some stuff and checking out the. Yeah, that's cool, man. Yeah, I love him. Even though he's doing a million other things, he still comes and takes some time to come into the show. So, Charles, I really appreciate you. And we're talking about Dylan Thompson and his Acid Techno EP that just came out. Oh yeah. So if you want a little bit of background about acid techno from talking to Dylan, just the gist that I got, it started in Chicago, and back in the day, a company called Roland, and if you're a musician, I'm sure you're familiar with the name Roland, But if you're not, Roland is a great music company that makes great stuff. And I have a lot of their gear, so I'm a Roland guy. Anyway, there are specific instruments used, just like there are in classical music and any rock. Your basic guitar, bass, drums, keyboards. And let me see here in my notes. I believe it's the 303. Yes. So Roland made a synthesizer called the TB-303. I don't know if that's the original name, but it was the 303. Anyway, it definitely tanked. I mean, it tanked. It was like, how can I say it? They tried to emulate a bass guitar, and it didn't sound anything like a bass guitar. But it was a cool synthesizer. But it wound up in a lot of pawn shops because people just they were like, "What is this thing? It's a toy. Just get rid of it." So they were available for very, 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 very inexpensive. And there was a drum machine also. I believe it was the 606 that had the same fate. So it was easy for people that didn't have much money to get their hands on these machines. And they used them in all kinds of different ways for synthesizers, and they came up with cool ways to use them. And before you know it, acid techno was born. Now, the big guys in the studio, of course, they got their hands on the best Roland drum machine out at the time, the TR-909, which I know a little bit about. And if you know Roland and the TR-909, they're not very easy to come by these days. They're super, super expensive. So that's one of Dylan's backbone instruments that he uses a lot for the drums. And he uses the Roland TB-03, which is the latest version of the 303, I believe, and also a Behringer TD3, which is kind of the same thing, only a little bit different. So Dylan, he creates his own sounds a lot of times, and if he doesn't create a sound, he tweaks it to make it his own, which I think is wonderful. It's really cool. So, yeah, so we're talking about Dylan Thompson, Lysergic Transmissions. It's a new EP. So, where can we find Dylan's music? Well, you can find it pretty much anywhere. He's on Spotify. He's on Apple Music. He's on Tidal. I hope I'm saying that right. Or Tidal. Tidal. I don't know that site. Deezer. He's also on YouTube Music and SoundCloud. So he has a pretty good distribution, which is fantastic. So you could search him out. Once again, that's Dylan Thompson, Lysergic Transmissions, LYSERGIC, Lysergic Transmissions. Cool. Just cool names. How this kid comes up with this stuff. Anyway, all right, yeah, so you can find Dylan pretty much anywhere. You can listen to his music actually for free on SoundCloud. So if you know what SoundCloud is and you know where to go for SoundCloud, I have SoundCloud. A lot of musicians do, I believe. You can go over there and check out his music for free there, and you could download his album, listen to it. on any pretty much any form that you got to listen to music. So definitely check that out. And might I add? I'll add one more thing. Dylan is a self-taught musician, um, but I will tell you that Dylan is a formally self-taught musician, and if you don't know what a formally self-taught musician is, um, it's basically something that I heard Jocko say, that um, he never really studied with anybody per se, but he studied music and he knows music. And he knows music theory and he knows chords and he knows how to play stuff and analyze it and all of that stuff. And as we know, that's an ongoing process, even if you're a self taught musician. So um, I will say good luck on that journey and keep continuing with that journey also. And he is a, what I'll say here, a quarantine producer over quarantine. So over quarantine, um, he learned a lot of stuff. If you know anything about compressors and reverbs and equalizers and tube equalizers and compression chaining and ducking and high pass and low pass filters and synthesizers, it's just a massive amount. It just blows my mind um, how much information it took over this quarantine. And I listened to the stuff, man. I'm very, very, very proud. Very proud. Super proud. So once again, I don't mean to beat it to death, but it's Dylan Thompson, Lysergic Transmissions, Lysergic Transmissions, available on all platforms. All right. So I'd like to say congratulations on dropping your new EP, Dylan. I hope you get a lot of listens and a lot of followers. Dylan is also on Instagram, so go over there and follow him on Instagram, Dylan Thompson. And on YouTube, don't forget, make sure you like and subscribe because that will help him promote his music. Anywhere you can hit a subscribe or a like button, it helps the artist. Okay, so go over there and help Dylan. Okay. Well, I am going to check the chat now one more time and see. Okay. Once again, Charles, if you're listening at this second, I really appreciate you, man, for hanging out. I don't feel alone. See, that's what friends are for, my good buddy. He's hanging out with me so I don't feel lonely. It's great to have friends. It really is. It really is. And I love you all my subscribers. Thank you very much. I really appreciate you. All right. So it's 7:57. If anybody would like to call in, now's the time. If you have my number and you're watching the show, call in. I got my second COVID shot today. Yes, my second COVID shot. I'm done for now until they come out with the booster, and then I'm going to get the booster shot also. So I know there are a lot of people that don't believe in the vaccine, and they're not going to get the vaccine, and they're not going to wear masks, and they're not gonna, and that's fine. That's the beauty of this country. With the way things are going, I just hope that they don't make it mandatory for people that travel and just make a big deal about it. Like, oh, you can't go to a concert because you didn't get your COVID shots. So I hope they don't pull that stuff on us, but you never know. They're trying to ban now. I hate to make this show political, but they're trying to ban menthol cigarettes. Also, that's never going to float. So anyway, let's get on to the next part of my show here. I'll give it another second for anybody that wants to call in, and in the meantime, hang out. I'm gonna grab my bass. Okay, I got my bass on. I got my bass on, baby. All right. So what's up with this Barry Harris stuff? Um, I think it's really cool. Just another exploration into something that I wouldn't have came up with on my own, possibly. Not really sure because I use most of the notes from the scale, basically all of the notes from the scale in other ways, but as a scale per se, no, I'm just learning this. And I watch a bunch of videos on YouTube about it. There's one guitar player who actually studied with Barry for a long time, and I watched about, I would say maybe 15 minutes, 20 minutes of this video. He totally lost me. It was just so much information. I was just like blown away. Like, wow, this guy is blowing me away like with this stuff. Um, and then I didn't think about it much. And of course, if you know me, I follow Rick Beato. And I want to give a shout out to Rick Beato. He's the king of music on the internet. At least he is to me, anyway. Just a phenomenal teacher. So if you don't know who Rick Beato is, go over there and subscribe to his channel. I'm a subscriber over there. Anyway, so Rick was talking about it, and Rick kind of made it more palatable. Like, oh, okay, I get it now. I get it now. So without going into too much complexity, I'll play the scale in C. So the scale basically sounds. Okay, so it's a major scale, right? With a sharp 5 added. Okay, so C, D, E, F, G, A flat, A, B, C. Okay? Nice, right? Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Okay, so you use that over a major sixth chord. So the whole thing is based off of major sixth, then diminished, then a different inversion of the major sixth, the tonic, then another diminished chord, then another inversion of the tonic, major sixth chord, and so on, and so on, and so on. So, if it makes up some pretty cool chords. So it lays better on the bass in G. So that's G major 6 right there. So if you know anything about harmonizing scales, what is the next note? So you know it's A. So you start out with the 6/9. Not the 6/9. I'm sorry, the major sixth to the diminished on the A, which is the 2 chord. Then on B is an inversion of this. See? Same chord. Hear it? Okay, so that's the inversion. Then the next note in the scale is B. So that's the inversion. And then C is the next note, and that's the diminished. And I love this sound. Oh, pretty, right? Awesome. Okay, so that's the 4 chord. Is it diminished? Now we go to the 5 chord. Now the 5 chord is an inversion of the G major 6 chord. Okay, so I'm on the 5 chord, right? Oh, that's beautiful too, that inversion. Now here's where it gets interesting. Now when you go to the sharp 5, goes back to the diminished. So this one here is just another inversion of the G major 6th. It's a different inversion. Followed by the diminished. Followed by another inversion. Oh, I'm sorry. This is actually the relative minor chord, and this is the only one that's kind of standard. It's just regular A minor. So what I figured out, when I'm coming from this chord, it doesn't sound much different, right? Because this is an inversion of the G major 6. And that's the relative minor, E minor. But when I go to, E minor 7, now I like the way it sounds. So I'm doing all triads right now and inversions of a G major 6th, followed by the next note in the scale, diminished, followed by the next note in the scale, an inversion, followed by the next note in the scale, a diminished, and it keeps going that way. All right? So when I'm on this diminished, yep. E, yeah. 4-string bass. Okay, so when I'm on this diminished and I move it up to the minor triad, if I play a minor 7, listen to the transition, I think it sounds better. And then on the F sharp, you just have the diminished. Back to the G major sixth. Wow. So if I'm just learning these, so if I screw them up, and that's what it's all about, right? You can't get better if you're afraid to make a mistake or play a wrong note. Man, screw that, man. Right, Charles? A bad note leads to 5 other good notes and a great idea, and you never know. When I was learning these, I was hitting all kinds of wrong ones and coming up with some pretty cool chords, like, just by not playing the right notes. But I'm going, yeah, wow, that sounds good. Oh, but that's not it. Oh, but it sounds good. So don't be afraid to explore. All right, so I'm going to try this, and let me see how well I've learned my lesson. So the 1 chord, 2 chord, 3 chord, 4 chord, 5 chord, sharp 5, 6th, minor 7, F sharp 7 diminished, back to the 1. So I watched this other person in a lesson, and he was also describing this, and he came up with a good thing. And I got to start writing down these guys' names on their site so I can give them credit and put it in the comments. Okay. And so there was a guitar player talking about this, and he said basically if you look at it, any inversion of a major 6 chord can be preceded by a diminished, a semitone lower, that's a half step, resolving to here. Okay? So that's basically what it is. The diminished chord, based on the 7th of any diminished chord, it's like a tritone substitution. If you know what the tritone substitution is, and actually the diminished, if I look at B diminished, say I'm playing G, right? Everybody knows G7, right? G Mixolydian, right? Everybody knows that, right? For the G7 chord. Okay. But if you look at the G7 chord, between the 3rd and the 7th, you have the tritone. Right? Just like the diminished. So if you take the half diminished, it has the A in it, which means you're in key, right? In the key of G. Well, you're actually in the key of C, but G7, right? So your G7 goes to A, and A is the 9th, correct? But when you do a full diminished, now you have the A flat, and the A flat is the flat 9. So basically, B diminished is A flat, is G 7 flat 9. Right? Because A flat is your flat 9. So if you substitute B diminished for G7, then that means you can play the diminished scale and all of the chords from the diminished over the G7, even in a blues situation. So if I'm on G7, I can play B diminished, D diminished, F diminished, and A flat diminished. Yeah, hope I did that right. Yeah. Okay? So if you're jamming, or whatever, use it in a 2/5. Make the 5 chord the flat 9. But you can use any of the diminished. Right to C, 5 to 1. So I thought that was pretty cool. Okay, because not everybody knows, but when you're a bass player, if you're doing D minor, say you're just doing a simple 2-5-1, right, and C, that's D minor 7, G7 to C. You can use see, so you can substitute the diminished chord there. And really, like, it's just doing a 2, 7 flat 9 to 1. And you could use that 7 flat 9 also resolves to minor. So that means you could play this diminished, a semitone lower than the root, to resolve. So if you're a bass player, you also know D minor, or where you're adding. So if I was doing 3-6-2-5, right? So that's where that comes around. 3, something like that, but you get it. You get the idea. So I hope you enjoyed this little talk on Barry Harris, the diminished dominant, I believe. I hope I'm not screwing up the name of the scale too. But look for it. It's all over the place if you're really that interested. But I just love these inversions. So one more time. The 1 chord, 2 chord, 3 chord, 4 chord, 5 chord. That's a hard one. 6 chord, right? 7th. Back to the G. And that's it. All right. So Barry Harris, what a wonderful teacher, and you could make up all different kinds of chord progressions using this concept. Nice. So there you go. All right, now I'm having fun. Now I'm getting too crazy. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching Into the Mind of Music, and we're here in New Jersey. So if you're a subscriber, thank you very much. I really appreciate you. And let me just take a look in the chat just one more time and see. Dylan, oh, hello, hello, hello. Well, finally, hello, hello, hello. You come in at 8:20, do you? Okay. Oh, no. 8:10. All right. He's right here. Dylan, if you want to call in, you can call in. If not, I'm going to wrap this up. Like I said, yeah, I got my second COVID shot today. Feeling a little off kilter, but not too bad. Generally, really, really, really not too bad so far. So far, so good. All right. If you're a subscriber, I really appreciate you. And remember to hit the bell over there on YouTube and subscribe, and you'll get all the latest from NJ Bass Academy. Don't forget, on Wednesday nights at 7:30, my free lessons will be coming out, and I'm going to do a bunch of different things. If you're a beginner or intermediate, or you've never learned how to read music, or you just want to be a better musician and learn more, please tune into the free lessons. Okay? So we're going to go out with this Barry Harris deal, Diminished Dominant. I guess that means maybe because there's a lot of diminished chords in it, but, hey, I'm a simpleton. I have to research it a bunch more, but I just love the inversions that come from that. This concept, and for composing, it just opened up a bunch of different worms for me. So here we go. I'm going to go out. I did this little major groove when I was doing my major scale lesson, and let's see. I think it'll be pretty good to jam on for a little bit before I go. I can't play anybody else's music, so I have to play stuff that's not copywritten. All right. Barry Harris, Diminished Dominant Scale. All right. Just trying to make some sense out of it. With the raised fifth, it's pretty cool. You can actually make it a little more contemporary. Basically, if you look at it too, it's a major pentatonic with those half steps. I find going to the G, I'm not crazy about that, but going to the sixth, I really like it. Nice, right? And this little trill between the A flat and the A. All right. So that's a little bit about the sound. I'll keep working on it. I'll get better at trying to find some things with the scale. So if you're an advanced player, and you understood all of that jargon that I was just saying, you'll have a good time with this. Don't forget, everybody, hit the like and the subscribe. Comment. Please, please comment. and let me know that you're here. Hi, Serena. I love you. Thank you for tuning in. All right. So, NJ Bass Academy here, working on the Barry Harris concept. I'm having a blast, and maybe sometime I can make some good music with this stuff that I'm learning. All right. Don't forget, hit like and subscribe. If you're interested in online bass course, you can go over to Patreon, and I'm going to be actually lowering my prices over there so they're not so scary when you go there and go, oh, I can't pay that much. So I decided to bring it down a bit, and so it might be good to jump over there after next week. Hopefully, I'll be able to get over there and change that. And I appreciate everybody. I love you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in, Charles and Dylan and Serena. And don't forget our featured artist, who is actually right online now, Dylan Thompson. Don't forget his record, Lysergic Transmissions, Lysergic Transmissions. And like I went over earlier, I just got to go over these names again because I just love them. I think they're great. Lysergic Transmission, Magic Fungi. Whoa, that's so cool. Red Sky, Day of Everything, and Machines of Tomorrow. And Dylan's definitely making some music of tomorrow. Acid Techno, don't forget he's on every platform: Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, Deezer, YouTube Music, SoundCloud. And you can listen to his stuff on SoundCloud for free and hear what his music is all about, but definitely go download the whole album. Make sure Dylan's also on Instagram. I know that, so make sure you go over there and subscribe or like and follow Dylan. And that's it for tonight's show. It's 8:30. Peace, love, and music for all. I love all you guys. Help me get to 100 subscribers, and then the next feat will be 500, and then 1,000. I don't know. I'm just going to ride this train and have a good time and hope it ends up in a good station. Peace, love, and music for all. I'll see you guys next week. Ciao.